Welcome to the Arsenal Tottenham Fan Podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I am Cal Wood, the very happy Arsenal fan. With me is my friend Rick Nelson, the unhappy Tottenham fan. Rick, how are you?
There could be happier Tottenham fan. There could be happier.
Yes, the could be happier Tottenham
Yeah,
fan. That's a better way to put it.
not totally bent out of shape, but you know.
Well, you got to give Rick tons of credit for coming on the podcast because not only does he have to talk about Tottenham's loss, he has to sit here while I talk about Arsenal's 5-0 win over that incredible side known as Burnley.
Yeah. Rinse and repeat, wasn't it, from last week?
That's for sure. Hey, so thanks to everybody for tuning in. Really, really appreciate it. Please don't forget to give us a review on your favorite podcast app. The way that the podcast apps redid their metrics or analytics or algorithm or whatever you would want to call it for ranking podcasts. Um, so we need new reviews in order to get pushed up the rankings so that more new listeners can find us. Does that make sense, Rick?
Yeah, something like our XG, right? Right.
That's right. We need to improve our XG.
Well, to that end, actually, I didn't know that, Cal, but to to the to the people that followed me this week, new followers on Instagram. You can find me at Instagram at arsenaltottenhamfanpodcast.com. Thank you. And hopefully you're here. You guys said you were going to show. So if you're listening, welcome. And maybe that would be the start to the algorithm, the XG of the Arsenal Tottenham Fan Podcast show.
That's right. That's right. And don't forget, we also have a YouTube channel. So you can go in, search the results, and you will see Rick and I and our sometimes smiling faces
And
on
all
there.
that glory. Yes,
That's
indeed.
right. Hey, so what we're going to do today, since Arsenal and Tottenham played at the same time, Rick is going to jump in there. We're going to talk about the 2-1 loss to Wolves. Then we will talk about Arsenal's 5-0 ho-hum, another win over Burnley. Then we will talk about the matches that are coming up later in the week and on to the weekend. Rick, how does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, so what happened at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Was not expecting to see that.
Oh boy. Well, when I looked at the lineup, there was a little bit of a concern, and
Mm-hmm.
we knew that it was coming with Porro and Udogi being out.
Oh, both of them were out.
Yeah, so Royale came in for Porro and Davis came in
Wow.
for Udogi.
Well, there you go, right there.
Yeah, but no, I'm not using that as an excuse, and I'm not ripping on the club either. Just some things that are not right and that just went wrong. And it wasn't, what is the word? Wasn't clicking, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just again, and I know we've spoke about this before on the program, Cal. You know, like with some of the players that have returned, you know, even with Son, Basuma, and Madison, they're not nowhere near where they should be right now. Still,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, and I guess that's somewhat fair enough. But you know, got 2 weeks off now, so if they need to recuperate, because fair enough, they were in big tournaments and they're very emotional and like crazy, those tournaments, especially the AFCON, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the little break and the little respite will help.
Well, you know what the secret is? go to
Go to
Dubai
Dubai.
and
Go to
eat at
Dubai like
Salt
you
Bay.
guys. Yeah,
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 and eat at Salt Bay because apparently the steak that they serve there supercharges you into being an incredible human athlete.
yeah. Or you can just play crap teams like West Ham and Burnley. That'll help and all.
And Liverpool, that's all you need.
Sure. Yeah, pub team that turned up that day. Well, look, it's part of it too is that look at Postecoglou is like the cocaine dealer. He's plied us with the drug, and now we want it, right? Um,
That's right.
yeah,
You need your fix.
we need the fix, man. So when it's not happening, look, I was sitting at home watching this game, um, but I could feel the frustration coming through the telly. Right,
Hmm.
you could sense it was coming, um, and that and I felt a little bit of that myself. But then it was kind of like I checked myself and was like, well, yeah, I should feel like that, right? I mean, it's good that I feel like that, right? I've been supporting Tottenham for over 50 years. Nobody heard that. Um, right. But um, the other thing is to, yeah, I do agree with Postecoglou. Like, look, there's still some building going on here. He's got a team of players right now that play the way he wants to play. The problem is he doesn't have a squad of
Hmm.
players that play the way he wants to play.
Hey, all Arsenal fans know the notes to that tune.
Sure. So, and I've heard some of the comments over the weekend from the usual suspects. Oh, you can't have any more excuses from Tottenham. They're not excuses. You're making them excuses because it's Tottenham, right?
Hmm.
When other teams say that, bigger teams, everybody nods their head. Oh yeah, yeah, fair enough. And it's not excuses; it is reality of just where he is as a coach. He's never coached in the Premier League. Here he is, halfway through the season. What are we expecting, right?
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Um,
if you got Emerson and Davies at fullbacks, you got issues,
well,
especially it going forward.
well, yes, but, and I will get to that. But we have an issue at the back. Something's wrong somewhere. Something's not clicking. Something's breaking down because we are on average we're at 1.5 goals per game that we're letting in. And in the history of the Premier League, not one team has ever qualified for the Champions League in the top four slot if you're averaging 1.5 goals per game.
No kid.
Right. Ever.
Wow.
So something will have to change there. So what is it? What's going on? I mean, the set pieces are an issue for us still,
Hmm.
right? But look, the first half. Look, getting to the game when we came out that the first half, there was no sense of urgency from Tottenham. Again, it was like very slow, and that's where you could feel the crowd building up. And in all honesty, Cal, whether it was Postecoglou or any other coach at any other time, I think that frustration would have came anyway
Hmm.
because it just seemed, here we go again. You're passing the ball back and forth. There's nothing really going on. There's not much creativity here.
Did the
Um,
team look fatigued?
not I don't know. Not really.
Hmm.
Just lacking kind of. I mean, they may have been. I don't know. To the naked eye, looking on the TV, I can't really tell. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Okay.
Um, but but 3 games in a row where we conceded the first goal at home.
Hmm.
That's got you can't do that.
No, you can't.
You can't do it in most leagues. You certainly can't do it in this league,
No, not if you want to finish top four.
right? I mean, and the other thing, the slow starts. So against Brighton and against Brentford was the same, and okay, we managed to nick a win. we can't keep playing games where we nick a win. You got to have games where you win convincingly. Can't keep like
Well,
scrambling one
don't
in.
we know it?
Right, yeah. You can't have one where you're scrambling one in the 94th minute. Yay. Those are great, but it's not good, right?
Well, it's not when those are your wins.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to build confidence or, in the long
Hmm.
term. But he knows that. He knows all of that, obviously, Postecoglou. And I'm not knocking him, but like I've always said on this show, I know everybody likes Postecoglou. I do. I'm behind him, but it doesn't mean I can't criticize
Of
or add
course,
my own 10 cents in or when I
of
want.
course.
Um, the first goal, I mean, when we're talking about defense, so we've taken to like when we're defending set pieces to have every player in the box, every single player. Okay. Gomez scored from the corner. Great header, by the way. So we've got 11 men in the box, and the shortest bloke on the pitch scores with a header.
I saw that.
What is going on?
Yeah,
Right?
how is that possible?
It's unacceptable, right? When you've got 11 players
Hmm.
in the box, right? If that's your
Hmm.
tactic, that cannot be happening.
For sure.
So, um, something else to put on the list in the next 2 weeks while they're off, right?
Hmm. Who
Uh,
do you fault for the goal?
I'm just going to go with the 11 men that were in the box, Cal.
I can't see the forest for the
Well,
trees.
I'm telling you right now, they just all looked. It was like ball watching. Like the ball came over, and they all just kind of went, "Oh, it's yours, not mine, yours." Right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was ridiculous, really.
Somebody's got to call that thing.
Yeah, somebody. Well, yeah, something's got to change. You can't give people a free header. I mean, in all fairness to Vicario, the last few games he's kept us in the games. Some of the saves
Mhm.
he's pulled off.
He has had an amazing season.
Yeah, I mean,
Your best player.
yeah, he's really kept us in the game, and he did it again on Saturday. Like some brilliant saves,
Hmm.
just like really, really good saves.
And it's not a good sign when your keeper has been your best player and you're still letting in a goal and a half a game.
Yeah, yeah. It's not good. So something's not right at the back. Not when you have, you know, a World Cup winner back there, and the speed that we've got back there. Something's not right. So it's just something's not going on. The second half, obviously Postecoglou had a word because they came out and they were a different team,
Hmm.
um, and that's okay. But we had that under Conte, where
Right.
where the first halves. I mean, that pattern developed,
I remember.
um, and this is a different set of players, except for maybe Kulusevski and Son,
Hmm.
right? But really, we're a different set of players. That sense of urgency, that dynamism, whatever you want to call it, in the first half, we need to pick that back up. It's just this is the third game in a row where it's been like that.
Hmm.
You know,
Well, the good thing is you got 2 weeks off now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. In all fairness to us, um, we pretty much had Wolves camped in their own half in the second half,
Okay.
literally the whole second half, almost.
Hmm.
Um, and within minutes, Kulusevski, who was really the only one who had a couple of chances in the first half, because that was all we had, nothing else.
Hmm.
Um, Kulusevski scored a great goal,
Great goal.
great bit
Really
of
good.
footwork. Yeah, it was great little goal. So I thought, oh, okay, here we go. This is looking good, you know.
Hmm.
And we had a 15-minute spell where we were all over them,
Hmm.
but they had that low block, parked the bus, and we couldn't get through it. It was so
Hmm.
congested in there. We get in the box and we try to play this little tiki taka stuff,
Hmm.
and it was just too congested. It just wasn't happening. You
Hmm.
know, um, the second goal, Wolves had a couple of counters, and they always looked like they were going to score when they got on the counter break.
Hmm.
They just always looked like they were going to score. So we had a corner. Madison takes the corner, doesn't come to anything. Basuma picks the ball up on the 18-yard line and loses it.
I saw that.
So I don't know if you noticed, but now Wolves are on the break. We're chasing.
Mm-hmm.
It was the strangest thing because it's like when you're coaching kids, like, and I mean you young kids,
Mm-hmm.
soccer. It's like they all chase the guy with the ball, and you go like, no, just one. If you go with him,
Right.
right? Because the whole team wants to go over there. A squadron of them fire onto this guy, right?
Right. Right.
That's what we did.
Wow.
Like I think Nato took off with the ball, and the camera was like behind, fake going down the pitch with them. And I think we had like 4 Tottenham players all running towards him, and Basuma was tracking Gomez,
Mm-hmm.
but he was just running alongside of him, kind of like you're going through the park. Like, how you doing today? It's a good day today, isn't it?
Like they were out for a jog.
It was really weird. Like, why aren't you tracking him? You're like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 yards away from him,
Uh-huh.
and just kind of running with him. And then they cut the ball back, and Basuma just did nothing, and then they scored. It was so strange. That's the kind of thing when I look at that and think, well, that's the reason, not the so much the defense, possibly that kind of stuff
Oh, no
is
question.
is why it is because Van der Ven was unbelievable on
I mean,
Saturday,
he just flew past everybody.
and not even his speed. Some of the tackles that he made to win the
Uh-huh.
ball back, so
Uh-huh.
clean. And you could look at other players and you think, no, they would have took your feet from right under you doing that. And yet he just went in like it looked like a scissor tackle, but he got the ball cleanly, got up off the floor at a million miles an hour, and had the ball, and off we went again. Yeah, so maybe with Basuma, you look at that and think, okay, that could be fatigue, right? Just not being focused, little leg tired, little leggy after a world competition, an African competition. Okay, some of those things could play into it. I get that. Um,
But
yeah,
not
hopefully.
but not when you're chasing the ball. Yeah, you're taught from an early age, run to the near post. At some point in time, they've got to come back to the near post.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
in this case for Basuma, it was just a case of like track the runner, just stay with
right,
this dude.
right,
You know what I mean?
right. But one guy goes for the ball, everybody else either tracks a runner or goes to the near post.
Yeah. So disappointing day. Sloppy football, not creative enough. My takeaways on it were, you know, Royale. It's easy to rip on Royale because he makes it easy sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yes, he does.
But in his defense, Cal, um, that was his first start of the season, right?
No kidding.
And you're asking a meat and potatoes fullback to
Hmm.
come in and be an inverted fullback, right?
Did you
Like
play him
horror.
inverted?
Yeah, I mean, but it's not him.
No, no.
He cannot do it, and it stood out a mile. He lost the ball a couple of times. He
Hmm.
played a cross pitch pass to Davies, and it just
Hmm.
flew right over Davies' head. Right? He did make some good blocks, Romero, because he's a fullback.
Uh-huh.
That's what he does. But whenever he tried getting up the pitch, he looked out of his depth. Like I'm not sure about this position.
Oh, what? So you put Romero at fullback?
Hmm.
Did he
Yeah,
start at fullback?
yeah,
Oh, wow. I thought Davies started at fullback.
he did too. Yeah,
Where did Emerson play?
Royale, Emerson Royale. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
How many Royales do you think there are, Cal? Thank God, there's
Sorry.
only one.
I, I misheard Royale as Romero.
Oh, sorry. No, so Royale was on the right, Davies on the left.
Yeah.
But whenever Royale tried pushing up, it just didn't look right. I mean,
Hmm.
for everyone to see, he was uncomfortable in that position.
Sure.
So and it's not fair on him, right? I mean, I get it. He's a meat and potatoes fullback, so it's really
Hmm.
hard for him to okay, my first start of the season, I've hardly played. You tossed me in to do this, which
Yeah.
again shows us Postecoglou again talking about I have the team but not the squad, but
Hmm.
also even though I don't have the squad, I'm not changing anything. If you come
Hmm.
in, you better figure it out and adapt to it.
Yeah. Arteta, he played Kieran Tierney in there, and now Kieran Tierney is at Real Sociedad.
I
Yeah.
bet your bottom dollar that Royale will be somewhere else by summer.
Yeah.
It's just
And
how it
he
is.
and he played Kivior in there earlier this year and realized he couldn't do it either. So he is now starting to invert Ben White on the other side,
Yeah, yeah,
who can do it better than Kivior can.
yeah. I mean, there'll be a lot of changes over the summer at Tottenham. There'll be a lot of personnel changes.
But and that's why it's such a challenge for y'all to lose both your fullbacks because Davies isn't going to be great in an inverted role either.
No, I mean, Davies' role really is that left back. And what he does well is in the old style of the left back, if you will, he likes to, again, like Royale is meat and potatoes, is getting up and
Hmm.
down the wing, right?
Right.
Um, and Davies likes to team up with Son,
Hmm.
right, on that left wing.
Hmm.
So yeah, it was hard for Davies too. I mean, Davies ended up coming into the middle of the pitch. It was almost like some kind of backup striker towards the end of the game.
Wow.
And he almost scored. The ball was a bit behind him, but it was a really big chance right at the end of the game.
Hmm.
Um, you know, and maybe if he had a scored, I don't know, would that have been a good thing? It would have been a draw, but it would have put a band-aid on the issue.
Well, yeah, you know the
You know what I mean?
the
Like losing was not a good thing, but losing makes you more focused on what's the issue here.
well, Postecoglou is the doctor, and whether you got a goal or not, it wasn't going to change how he talked to the team after the match and over these next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it would have been good to get the point for y'all in terms of position going forward. But Postecoglou would have been under no illusions as to what was going on.
Yeah.
And if the players were, they wouldn't have been by today.
Right. For sure. Yeah. So, some things that need to get sorted out. Like I said, we don't play for 2 weeks. So,
So you are now in fifth spot,
mhm.
two behind Aston Villa. And Manchester United is now 3 points behind you.
Yeah.
Y'all have a five goal deficit, five goal difference deficit to Villa, but you have a 13 goal advantage on Man United. How about Man United being in sixth spot and having a goal difference of +1?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's
Even if
up
Man
with
United win the next game, they can they go level with us, but they can't go above us
that?
for
Hmm.
whatever
Hmm.
psychological win that is. But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, they're atrocious right now. Man, you.
Uh, so, what do you think of your position in the table?
I think it's fair at this point. I think it's fair
Hmm.
considering that we have to go back. I don't think we could just look at it in a silo as to like where are we now. You got to go back and go look. We had a great start to the season. Then it all went to pot against Chelsea with injuries and everything else.
Hmm.
Madison out for 3 months. He doesn't look good right now. I mean, he was coming back so deep in the game to get the ball.
Hmm.
Um, it's not where he's going to needs to be. Um, So he's not firing on all cylinders right now. I think it's a fair position for where we are, and I think what people because we with football as fans we're so fickle and we forget too quickly. Again, and we look at these games on a week by week basis, and we forget what Tottenham looked like as a team for about 3 months, which was like
Hmm.
a mash unit,
Hmm.
right? So fair play to Postecoglou for getting us to fifth spot right now for where we are,
Sure, sure.
right? That's what I'm thinking.
Hey, and Harry Kane ain't doing much for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, poor old Harry. I do feel for him in a way. Um, it would be horrendous, right, if it gets to the end of the season and he doesn't win anything.
Oh, he's not going to.
And he's looking like that right now.
I mean, Bayern Munich are not good.
Yeah, he can always look at him, mate. He got a 200 grand a week raise,
Yeah,
right?
I
There's
mean, and he's
that.
scoring goals.
Yeah, well.
You
It's
know,
It's like we're doing the same thing he did at Tottenham. It's like the same
it's the
thing all over
truth.
again.
It's the truth.
It's not us, it's him.
That's right. Well, hopefully you can get that famous fourth place trophy that Arsenal was in for so many years in a row.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think right now, I mean, that's probably that's the goal, right? To
Certainly,
attract.
Daniel Levy's goal.
Yeah, it's always Daniel Levy's goal. Certainly to attract new players in the summer, for
Uh
sure.
huh.
You
Uh
know,
huh.
um, yeah, you got to aim for that right now, the
Hmm.
fourth spot by the end of the season, and
Hmm.
then then you got the summer. He's only had two transfer windows, so now he gets the summer to come out. He's got a full summer. Okay, go
Right.
get the person you want.
Hmm.
People talking about we need another striker. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, Richarlison didn't have a good game on on Saturday. It's funny, right? How when he's on form, everybody's like, "Well, now he's turned it around." And when he has a game against Wolves, and they say, "You need a striker."
Well, that's for sure. That's how fans look at strikers. When you
Yeah,
score, you're great. When you don't score, you're shit.
absolutely. Yeah. No, I think we can get a backup striker. That'd be fine. I think we need to get other positions sorted out first. Midfield is stacked. Um,
Hmm.
but certainly at the back, yeah, he's going to need a right a right back and a left back that can
Well,
fill
that's what I was going
Udogi,
to say. You
that
you
can fill
can't have
Udogi and Poro's place,
yeah, you can't
or at
have
least look alike, you know,
mhm.
for that
Yeah,
position.
yeah, you can't have Emerson and Davies uh, play and expect to be competitive in the
Right.
Premier
And
League.
the thing is, Cal, the same thing is like they're not bad players. They're just not gelling in this team.
Well, they don't do what they can't do what the role requires them to do.
Right. Right.
So I, I, it's really hard to ask a manager to change the roles of nine players because two of them can't do their role.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we have 2 weeks off. Sort that out. Sort the set pieces out. Figure out what's going on. You know, I mean, Basuma and Bentancur now. Nice little competition going on there.
Hmm.
Papa Sarr, what a play! I mean, he's the golden nugget right now.
Hmm.
Everything progresses through him for us right now.
Hmm.
Not Madison at the moment.
Right.
It's Sarr. I mean, he is like, and again, I'm sure Daniel Levy is licking his chops because Sarr's only 21,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And he is only going to get better, and he's freaking good now.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm not like all the other podcasts and shows that I heard. It's not doom and gloom, but of course, plenty of room for improvement. Plenty
Come
of room.
on. For the Arsenal fans that are listening to the podcast, give us some doom and gloom.
Never. And I am a Tottenham fan. I mean, I got it by the bucket load. You know what I'm saying? If I was to
I
dip
mean,
into my Tottenham bucket of doom and gloom, we'd be here all boxy night.
I was going to say that's why the Arsenal fans tune in. You don't think it's to hear me talk about Arsenal, do you?
Oh, brother. Anyway,
uh,
talking of that other mob from down the road.
yeah, well, since we're on it, let's talk about Arsenal and their trip to Burnley. Coming into the game, Burnley wasn't exactly a juggernaut at home. Um, they had one win and two draws in 12 matches at home. So eh, not good. They were. I mean, you had finally come across the pub team.
Yeah, they're
That
they're going to be right down there with Sheffield United at the end of the
they
season.
are.
Yeah,
They're
no doubt
not
about
getting out, and they came into the game. So a minute into the game. Well, for lineups, we played the same as we played West Ham, and why wouldn't we? Uh, So a minute into the game, maybe 2 minutes, Ramsey's already got a yellow card. Well, maybe that was 8 minutes into the game. Ramsey's already got a yellow card. They were kind of pushing us, kind of doing that thing where the
it. That's all they
ball
got.
comes to,
That's
yeah,
it.
the ball comes to the Arsenal player. The Arsenal player plays it. The Burnley guy gets there too late, so you push him in the back, kind of a thing. And, Odegaard scored a great goal in the fourth minute. Um, the ball turned over in not really midfield, more in our box. Rice got it, drives forward probably 40, 50 yards with the ball, passes it to Martinelli. Martinelli outside of the boot to Odegaard at the top of the D. And, you know, Odegaard kills it, and then on the half volley just smokes it in the bottom corner. Did you? I don't know if you happened to see it, but
I saw
man, what a goal!
some of the highlights later on.
Yeah, what a goal! And that is so far this season. That's the 18th time Arsenal has scored the first goal. Uh, 15 wins, two draws, one loss. So, and against Burnley, we were looking good for the points. As I mentioned, Ramsey got the yellow card on 8 minutes. And then, we basically had the ball and were putting them on them. Trossard in the 12th minute tried to round the keeper and give Trafford a lot of credit because he was able to stick a hand out and poke the ball away from Trossard. Uh, but by that time, Burnley had kind of just given up on the physical shit. They were just trying to get near us. That intensity that they had lasted about 10 minutes of chasing, and then after that, they weren't into it. In the 20th minute, I wrote a note that the game had settled down, and now Arsenal just had the ball. Um, we score again. When did we score again? We scored again in the 38th minute. Um,
So many, it's hard to remember when they scored, right, Ken?
yeah, I mean, for this, we can just go through the goals mostly. Did you see the penalty? So Trossard has it, goes past, goes past the guy. The guy dives in on him, slides in, doesn't touch him, and Trossard kind of jumps over him, and then kind of drags his foot and falls. But they called the penalty. The referee, it sure looked like the guy touched him. But of course, when it goes to slow motion, you can tell if the guy touched him or not. So, in a situation like that, striker has the ball. He's dribbling it, going in on goal. The guy slides in, stops his forward momentum, but doesn't touch him because he's able to jump over him. Should that be a penalty or not? No
Oh,
contact.
no contact?
No contact.
No, so I'd have to see it too. But I mean, no contact, no penalty, right?
Well, I don't know, but you know, I guess in the laws of the game they say that obstructed
Okay, we're in
forward
some
movement.
murky waters now, Cal.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Especially when it
But
comes to penalties.
but the point I wanted to make is that one of the issues, and I've mentioned this before, but with the technology that we have today, you can write in the laws now that there has to be contact for a penalty because the technology is there to determine if there is contact or not. In this case, the referee gives it. Saka buries it in the bottom right hand corner. Give Trafford credit for um, going the right way, but he hesitated just a touch. And the ball squeezed under him or squeezed just past him. If he wouldn't have hesitated, he would have had it. Um, but still, a goal for Saka. His fourth straight Premier League game with a goal. First time he's ever done that, and he's having a fantastic year. And then maybe 6, 7 minutes later, he gets a yellow uh, because he gets fouled. The referee doesn't call it, and he boots the ball away.
That's a yellow card, Cal.
He picks up a yellow, but man, he got hacked, and the referee didn't call it. I don't blame him. Um, I don't blame him for being upset with that. And then Burnley finally gets a breakaway, and they're going for the goal. And the fans are cheering. They're like, "This is Burnley's chance to get back in the game. It's 2-0. They can score on the break, make it 2-1 in stoppage time of the first half." And there is Declan Rice to swoop in and just poke the ball away like it's nothing, you know. And you could just hear the ah, you know,
Yeah.
and they knew it was over after that. You know, one thing that and in the 47th minute, Saka makes it 3-0. He got a pass from Odegaard, nice little through ball. Havertz got it from, I'm sorry, Odegaard got it from Havertz. And Odegaard, just nice little through ball for Saka. Saka fakes cutting on his left. The defender goes that way. He goes out on his right. He's maybe at the 6 yard box and just roofs it with his right foot. Trafford had no chance.
Is he at like 100 assists for Arsenal now?
No, he's got 100 goals plus assists, or I guess probably 103 goals plus assists now.
Okay, I knew it was one of the two. Yeah.
Mhm. Uh, that is his seventh goal in his last 6 league matches. You know, really coming into his own now. And it's interesting, I think, that you know, in these last one of the changes I think that we made is, and one reason that we're playing better, and I think one reason that you're seeing Saka be a lot more productive is that we've now started inverting Ben White as opposed to our left back. When Zinchenko went out, we first moved Kivior there. That clearly didn't work. Now we've been using Ben White in that position.
That's because Arteta's been watching Tottenham tape, isn't it? Hey?
That's possible. But what that does is that shifts our back three around. So now Kivior is playing more on the left. That moves Gabriel into the center and Saliba to the right hand side. Well, Saliba's our best ball playing back.
For sure.
So now we've become right hand dominant because we want Saliba to play the ball forward because he's the best at it. And now all of a sudden you've got on the right hand side, you've got Saliba, Odegaard, White, and Saka. I mean, that's 4 pretty damn good players up the right hand side.
Yeah.
And we have just been dominating teams with those 4 moving around on that side. And it's made us so much more effective, and Saka's been the beneficiary by scoring a lot more goals in the last few games. So I wanted to mention that in the 64th minute, Martinelli made a great steal and then made an incredible pass to Chassard. So he gets the ball, he goes into the penalty box, tries to make a move, he loses it, or one of the guys take it from him. I don't know if you saw highlights of this. Then he falls down, the ball bounces up, and from his back, he does a bicycle kick to Odegaard. Oh, I'm sorry, to Trossard, right in front of goal. Just beautiful pass, and Trossard shoots it wide. I mean, would have been on there for goal of the year, but Trossard sends it wide. A minute later, Trossard gets another great opportunity, shoots it wide again. I mean, he just like started getting these great opportunities and couldn't finish them. He probably had 4 or 5 great opportunities and couldn't finish them. And then a minute later, he scores. You know, I mean, isn't that how it
Yeah,
works?
yeah.
Havertz had the ball, kind of lost it a little bit. It deflected off a defender, right back to Chassard on his left foot, and it just top corner, like he had never missed a shot in his life. Just
Yeah.
bang, top corner. And that's 4-0. And obviously, all she wrote.
But that's like that's just like when a team's firing on all cylinders like you guys are, it happens, right?
Oh, no
The
doubt.
Trossards of the world take 2 or 3 shots, miss, and then boom. When it's not happening, and I'm not particularly talking about us, I'm just talking about football in general.
Mm-hmm.
When it's not happening, you can take 10 shots and it ain't going in.
Well, that's right. And another aspect of that. So in the 78th minute, it's 4-0. We've got to throw in around halfway. So Kivior picks up the ball, and Havertz is standing there, um, maybe 10 yards in the attacking half of the field.
Yeah.
And he just runs down runs down the touchline because he can't be offsides. And the Burnley guys are like, shit, what's he doing? And Kivior throws it long to him. The defender comes over to cut him off. He nutmegs him. Now he's in the center of the goal and just right foot past the keeper. You know, and the point of that is one reason that Arsenal is scoring those goals is they are playing like it's 0-0. They aren't playing like it's 4-0. They are trying to score goals just as hard when it's 4-0 in the 78th minute as they were when it was 0-0 in the 5th minute.
And you're playing like you're playing against Burnley. Oh,
Well,
wait, you were playing against Burnley.
yeah. But, what championship teams do is they don't let their level drop to that of their opponent. They maintain their level, and it's up to the opponent to match it. And so many good Arsenal teams in the past have let the level raise and fall based on the opponent. You're going against the really good team, you're intense, you're into it, you're, giving it 100%, you're running 12 kilometers, and then you play Burnley, and the intensity comes down, and you walk away with the 2-1. Arsenal's not doing that now. They're playing every minute as if it's the most important minute of the season. And when you do that, you score 21 goals in 5 games, which is the first time Arsenal has scored that many goals in 5 consecutive games since 1935. And of course, you remember the infamous Ted Larson, who scored the 7 goals against Aston Villa in the same run.
Teddy.
Not only that, this is the 4th highest goal scored in 5 consecutive Premier League games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same season, Premier League games. Now, Chelsea did 29, and then you got a Man City and a Man United in there. But, it's the 4th highest. So, I mean, and there's a Liverpool thrown in there. We put 5 past Crystal Palace. We put 5 past Burnley. We put 6 past West Ham. We put 3 past Liverpool. I mean, that's pretty daggone awesome. And we've given up 2 goals. So it's 21-2 over the last 5 games. The average XG for a Premier League team in a game is 1.7. We've given up 1.7 XG in these 5 games combined. So not only are we being great in front of goal, we're playing fantastic defense as well. And I think that is something important to look at. We've scored 5+ goals in 3 of the 5 games so far this year. That was more than we did it in 2023 already. 5 goals in back-to-back league away games for the first time. And we've given up 2 shots on target in the last 3 games. I mean, that's amazing. That is the run of form that you want going into the start of the Champions League season when the fixtures become thick and fast. Rick, your thoughts?
Well, I don't know about the thick and fast fixtures. We don't have none of that. Oh, I look. What can I say, man? You guys are playing really well. Of course, I hate to see that, but credit where credit's due, right? I mean, it's fair enough. I think that, and we've spoke about this before. You know, you were in our position not that long ago, so
That's right.
we can take something from that, even though we have to take it from you lot. But I mean, credit where credit's due. I mean, you're playing great, and I could go on and say, yeah, but you played Burnley, right? Whatever, and Palace, whatever. But you still got to bang those goals in.
That's right.
Right? You still got to play whoever's in front of you. So
That's right.
That's it. I'm not giving you any more praise. That's your one.
I gave you plenty
You
of
could have
opportunity.
probably told it was probably hard to. It was every sinew and fiber to get that out of my body.
Well, you don't have to worry about any of your Tottenham friends giving you grief for being so kind to the Arsenal because none of them are listening now.
Oh, boy, oh boy.
So man of the match goes to Martin Odegaard. He had the most final third entries with 9. He had the most chances created with 3, the most progressive passes with 12, the most passes into the penalty area with 5. He had 2 shots, and both of them were on target. He had 1 goal and 1 assist. And only 5 Premier League players have been involved in more goals since the start of last year than Martin Odegaard. Dare I say he is world class, even though we throw that around a lot.
Oh, Cal, careful.
So let's talk a little bit about what Arsenal are doing that is new. Arteta is absolutely amazing when you give him time to prepare. And, we took our 2 weeks and we made some changes and came back not only fresher and rested, but we came back with some tactical tweaks that have made us a significantly better team and that other teams haven't been able to adjust to yet. I'm sure they will try, but as of yet, they haven't been able to adjust to them. And I think one of the tweaks that we'll talk about is something that could be very effective against your lot. And um, even though that's a ways down the road and y'all will have plenty of time to see how it works. Um, so, what Arsenal is doing different is Arsenal has really increased the vertical movement. Last year, we had a lot of interchange at the front, but most of that interchange was horizontal. So, and we've talked about it. Jesus would go over to the left and he would combine with Martinelli. And then sometimes Martinelli would run in and interchange with him. Uh, this now, it is far more vertical interchange than it is horizontal. So, one of the issues that we talked about earlier in the season is that we were missing Thomas Partey, progressing the ball out of the back and making the killer pass. So, what's happened? We are now dropping various players into the back to pick up the ball to help Declan Rice. Odegaard has done a lot of dropping. So you're seeing a lot of Odegaard drop back to almost, as a double pivot sometimes um, with Declan Rice. So normally we invert the fullback, and we've still done that, but we've moved the fullback. Sometimes Ben White stays more out wide, and Odegaard will drop back in there. Well, Odegaard, I mean, there's few better passers than Odegaard, and he can really play that 30, 40-yard attack and pass that we've missed. And that's another thing that helps get Saka on the ball is now Odegaard has it on that side rather than Declan Rice. And Odegaard is far better than Rice at finding Saka on that side early in the attack. So that's something that's been good. Now, you can do it with Odegaard because Odegaard has got a horse. I mean, Odegaard runs. He's probably top three in the Premier League in distance ran this year. I mean, that guy runs. So you can drop him back because he'll get back into position. He'll make that pass. And then rather than just watch it go, he'll chase the pass down. And by the time Saka or whoever has it has made a move, he'll be back in his position. So that's one of the things that we've done. Another thing that we've done, vertical movement wise, is we have when we play either Trossard as the 8 and Havertz as the 9, or we play Trossard as the 9 and Havertz as the 8, one will drop back. So, sometimes we'll have, let's say we have the double pivot between Rice and White. Rather than the center forward staying on the shoulder of the center backs, they'll come back maybe 20 yards to pick up the ball, and there's nobody there. And then what will happen is Havertz, who kind of plays more in that left channel, will then make a run on either side of the center back. And that will put stress on the center backs in two ways. One, they're not sure where he's going. Two, he is going at them at speed while they're flat footed. And then Havertz has the ball, and there's nobody around him because now you've got a triangle in the center of the pitch. You've got Rice on one side, you've got White on the other, and then you've got Havertz dropping deep to pick the ball up, and there's nobody there. And he's able to turn. And so what we're also doing as a part of that is we're dropping Saka back too. So sometimes Saka will drop back, and he's not really dropping back to pick the ball up. He's dropping back more to align with Saliba. But what that gives him the opportunity to do is hit the fullbacks when they're flat footed. So he'll come back to drag the fullbacks back, and then he'll sprint forward because then he's at speed by the time he gets to half field, and the center backs are flat footed, because they're looking forward, and then they have to turn and run with him. And that's when, and we're playing balls over the top. So what we've started doing is dropping people back, then playing balls over the top rather than ticky tacking our way 80 yards. We've started dropping back, running at the defense, and then playing the long ball. Whether it be a long pass, whether it be an over the top ball into the corner, whether it be trying to hit somebody on a diagonal. Once we get to about the center, about the beginning of the center circle, kind of the middle third of our defensive area, we're looking to play an attacking ball. We're looking to play a 30-yard, 40-yard attacking ball. And that's made us just absolutely deadly.
Well, it's working.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. So who have you got coming up after your break?
We've got Palace. Southeast London's coming to North London.
Oh, nice. So what's Palace doing for what are they
Well,
doing
Roy
for?
Hodgson left. Look, Roy Hodgson left.
Right, he's in the hospital.
Well, he's gone today.
Oh, okay.
Gone from Palace, that is.
Oh, okay. He's still in the hospital then.
I don't know. I think he's out of the hospital because I think
Okay,
he
good.
wanted to manage this weekend. I think
Okay,
this weekend coming, but they've
okay.
let him go anyway. I'm not sure who's coming in. I heard what's his face?
Yeah, supposedly the guy that won the Europa League with Frankfurt.
Yeah, Dutch guy. I think. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Palace. Well, I mean, like I said, we got 2 weeks off. I was just checking my phone to see if there's a Salt Bay in London. I'm sure there is. So maybe if we don't get to Dubai, take all the players to Salt Bay there and see if that works. Well, I guess with Palace, look, they've had a really bad run. It's terrible. Do they
Uh-huh.
come in with a manager bounce?
Right. Yeah,
You
you
know what
got
I
to
mean?
expect it. Got
Of
to
course,
expect it.
absolutely, yeah. Because they're all. I mean, all players want to impress now, don't they?
That's right. That's
Right.
right.
So we'll see. Like I say, we've got 2 weeks off. Got to work on some things, set pieces. Udogi and Porro, pretty confident they'll be back. They don't have
Mm-hmm.
really bad injuries.
Right.
So we should have a full squad. And they're going to start clicking together now. Let's kick on from here. You've had 2 weeks off. It's probably come at a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, for
so,
sure.
yeah, straight after the AFCON and what have you. Let these guys rest up. Sonny and those guys, whatever, jet off somewhere, do what you got to do for a few days, and then
Mm-hmm.
get back to it at the end of the week and have a week's worth of training.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, no
We.
excuses getting into Palace. You've had 2 weeks,
That's right. That's
right?
right.
I mean, so.
That's right. We've got Porto coming up on Wednesday, and then we got Newcastle.
That's my new
Then we-
Champions League team now because I don't have a dog in the game. You know what I'm saying?
well, that'll be your team for this round. Let's see who your team will be for next
Oh
round.
no, I'm with Porto all the way through to the semis, man.
Unlikely, but and then we've got Newcastle at home over the weekend. So two
That'd be a
huge
good game.
games. Yeah, Newcastle scores lots of goals. We're scoring goals, so it's really going to be that one could be a goal fest. We should be getting a lot of players back, so it'll be interesting to see if we're going to get Jesus back and if he'll start against Porto, and it'll be interesting to see how much Arteta rotates between the two games because while it's been once a week, that's been fine. But now it's going to be a game every 3 days. Let's see how Arteta handles that challenge.
Yeah.
Rick, anything else?
Um, I don't think so. No, I think I'll watch a bit of the Champions League football. As I say, I'll be cheering on Porto, of course. Um, that's a lesser of two evils, really, right? Because it just means that you're if you did get knocked out, it means you have less games to play and you can focus on the Premier League, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
every Arsenal fan, we want Real Madrid or somebody like that coming into the Emirates. It's not a Champions League unless you get a big team at home.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
so that's what we're hoping for at some, hopefully not before the semis though.
yeah. Well, you're not making it to the semis, Cal. So
Hopefully we are. Hopefully we are. Hey, thanks everybody for listening. Really appreciate you tuning in. We may or may not be here next week. You can look in your podcast app to see if we'll be here. There's some travel involved, so not sure if I'm going to be able to make it or not.
yeah, I might
But
go
we'll
to
see.
Dubai if there's not a Salt Bay in London.
That's right. Cool. Thanks everybody for listening. Come on, you Gunners.
Up the Spurs.